have a chat on why UI and user experience. So now there are what they call the myths in user experience. Okay,
What do you call it?
the myths,
Okay, me.
myths,
Okay.
myths. Now let's break down these myths. So there are things that are well known. They are facts. They have been checked, and they seem likely to be things that you should follow. Now, the first myth is that user experience is not equal to user interface.
Okay.
I'm going to share my
Screen.
screen. I'm going to share this screen and well, so that you understand this. So user
Mm-hmm.
experience is not equal
It's
to
not equal to user
user
interface.
interface. The second one is that you is equal to you user. Now, when you're talking about the you, and then it's equals to your user. So that you there is you are talking about the user. So all the you there is user and
Mm,
user. So whatever or however you are dealing with the users is you are
mm,
going to define how the user works or what you experience from the user. Okay.
okay.
The
Yep.
next one we should understand is user always know what they want.
Okay.
So, however you build a website, a platform, or interface, you will
Mm,
discover that the user always know what they want. The user knows that he wants to sign up. He knows that he wants to buy that good. He knows that he
mm,
wants to use that hard drive. He knows that he wants to use www dot whatever. So they
yeah.
always know what they want. Now, the fourth thing is that the UX or the user experience ends when the
Mm,
user leaves the website or the software screen. So,
okay.
so whenever you're using an application, you should understand that everything you are building should revolve on what the user should be interacting with.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, the fifth thing is that the user experience best practice always works. So there are user experience. If you look at that diagram, it's
Mm,
not just putting an apple and shooting it on your head,
mm.
unless you know how to do that. So
Exactly.
you're having to be very, very careful. It's not to play with a gun and an apple on your head. So that's what the diagram is. And the
Okay.
sixth thing, sorry, I just jumped. The sixth thing is that the US guru knows all. So if you're a user
Mm,
experience guru, you really know what will not work. You know why a color will not
mm,
tally. You know why a button will not send a message. You know why when you are putting
mm.
an end broadcast cancel, you will not use a green color. You rather use
Yeah.
a red color. You know
Yeah.
where when there's a success message, you should use a green. And these are laws that have been proven. And the
Mm,
US guru should know all this. Now, the seventh myth is nobody knows it.
mm.
You really don't know everything. It's like
Even
infinite. It's like the
even the
infinite
use
universe.
even
Yeah,
the user guru, even the guru himself, the
yeah,
UX
yeah,
guru himself
yeah.
doesn't know it.
He has experience, but he might not know it. So
Yeah.
nobody knows it. So it's yeah. So what is changing? So also our users. So the users are getting used to what they see every day. It's getting
Mm,
advanced, you know, and all this. So this is what it takes. So now let's see. There's what they call 2D sensing surfaces. Okay.
mm,
Now, remember in movies, you see stuffs like this where you touch surfaces and gestures. When
mm,
you make your hand like this on your phone, you put your
mm,
two
mm,
hands on
mm,
your phone. Yeah.
mm.
All those things
You
are
zoom
user
in.
you zoom in a picture, you zoom out a
Yeah.
picture,
Mm,
you scroll your mouse down. All those 2D sensing interfaces are existing and they are example of user experiences. There are more new things are coming up where you have 3D sensing gestures for
mm,
depth sensing, face and body tracking solutions. Okay,
mm.
now the user experience is getting deep, is getting far beyond interacting inside a computer. You
Hmm.
need even external gadgets like this. This one you
Yeah.
use lights. This one you use lights and sensors. You can bear with me, or you would understand with me now that you have what do you call it? The PlayStation and the Xbox, where you
Xbox.
wear the 3D
Mm.
visors and interact with one another. So they use facial recognition, body tracking,
Body tracking.
and optometers to work. So
Okay.
some people design far beyond what we are seeing. It's just for us to see. There are other
Mm.
self-learning user appliances like AI. You know about the HomePod, the Nest. When you come inside your house, the Nest will control your ACs and everything.
Yeah.
When the AC when the room is too hot, the Nest will tune down everything down. Controlling how the whole system works.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is changing. Now you can remember about Google Glass,
Yeah.
where when you peer into your Google Glass, it's showing you augmented reality, where
Mm.
things are beginning to interact. All these things are examples of what user experiences are like.
Experience.
Now let's
Mm.
look at the elements of universal experience. Uh, the first part of it is the surface, right? Now, when you are
Mm-hmm.
looking at a web page like this, the first thing you see is
Mm.
a visual design of the UI. Now,
Yeah.
under it, there is a skeleton, the wireframe, interaction, patterns, global navigation. And then it has a structure, it has the information architecture where you define content. The scope is where you have the functionality, usefulness, requirement. And then the strategy. What strategy do you use for business requirement, defining user needs, goals, and aspirations? All these
Mm.
things are embedded in one web page. When you're looking in front of the web page, they are being captured. We all know
Mm.
about analytics, Google Analytics, and other
Google
analytics.
Analytics. Mm.
Yeah, where when you come, it captures, it knows how many minutes you spend or what you don't like. You can
Yeah.
actually look at what people are looking at, if that color really works, what they are finding difficult, or is it a particular place they are not using? Because you might create a website and you spend hours designing a particular button and nobody is clicking it.
Mm,
That
mm,
means it's
mm.
useless. So from
Yeah.
user experience, you can tend to understand that those things are meaningless and you can remove them. All right.
Mm. Yeah.
So these are basically what the UX experience is. Now let's see behind the scene of a UX experience. Now behind the scene, all right,
Mm-hmm.
behind the scene. Okay, before off book, let's look at this. When a user experience or universal interface designer
Mm.
uh, comes, the few things he does is that he he works together with the programmers, the architecture, the software architecture, and
Mm.
whoever is designing the product. User interface and user experience is not something that you work and you leave the other one. They interrelate, meaning that when you work on this, you check out how it's being experienced. You go back, you tweak the user interface, you check out how the user will implement it. And most of the time, you find some companies releasing what they call their beta versions. Those beta versions, sometimes you put some analytics telling people use it, tell us the
Mm. Mm.
problem, what are the bugs. I know
Yeah.
sometimes Microsoft will release their beta version of the softwares
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
probably within a year or some months before they
Mm.
release the alpha version.
Alpha version.
These
Yeah.
are sent so that they can track the boards, see what the users are seeing
Mm.
very well or they are
Mm.
breaking. So now, so briefing. So you need to really ask questions on how a product works. That is what
Okay.
this diagram is telling you. So it's an ask until you know it all, okay? So I can say Brand Camp is saying, I'm afraid this creative doesn't need a brief. He's designing with probably a product designer or the owner. And
Design.
what brief? You sent a one-line text from a bar. And the guy said, that's why
Mm.
it's called a brief.
Mm-hmm.
So you get, so you
Mm.
really need to ask until you know what the person is. So you say, Guessing
Yeah.
what the client wants is part of the creative process. Why even
Okay.
bother sending the brief? So that we
Mm-hmm.
can blame you when you don't meet it. You see?
Yeah.
So this, you look at it, this is what
Mm.
listen. So this is the create hierarchy and flow. Now I will
Okay.
send you this document so that you understand. This is content architecture. Okay, when you're breaking down a content, there is an architecture of the flow chart of how things move here to
Mm.
there. And
Okay.
up here,
Okay.
you have the home, the login, the
Mm-hmm.
authenticated resources, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, the user experience guy looks into all these things. How do you come to a website? Where do you see the product pages? Where do I align them? With all
Okay.
these flow charts,
Mm-hmm.
as a universal interface or universal experience person, you should be able to design an application in this way.
Okay.
So this is what it entails. So you should know how to make these things happen. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so for you to make all this thing happen, after you must have done a flow, the next thing to do is you start making what they call
Plan.
wireframes.
Okay.
Wireframes. So in making wireframes, you will use special softwares.
Uh,
There are some of them. I'm typing them here. There are Sketch. There is
yeah, I know a
there's
sketch.
Adobe XD.
Is it
There
Google
is
that has? I think Google that has sketch, right?
yes. No, Sketch is owned by a
Okay. Is it
software
SketchUp?
company. I forgot.
SketchUp.
No. Sketch.
Mm.
There is Illustrator, Adobe
Okay.
Illustrator anyway. These are Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator.
Are you typing it somewhere?
Yes, I'm typing it in the comment section.
Okay.
Um, Illustrator XD and many more. All right, I can't mention
Yeah.
all. There are lots of them. But
Mm-hmm.
in this scope, we'll be looking into Adobe XD because it is free. It has a free version. Sketch, you
Okay.
can download it, but you will use it for a while. There is a
Okay.
paid software and it costs some money. Now, for this scope, we'll be looking into uh, Adobe XD. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, in Adobe XD, that is where you start making a plan. But before we go into that, let's go back to that diagram. Let's go back to that diagram. Now, in this diagram again, you presume, look at this place. You see a sidebar, drop-down navigation, all these things. Before they are being programmed, the UI designer, remember
Mm.
when I'm using UI and UX, UI
Yes.
is when I'm talking about the interface.
User
UX is when
interface,
I'm talking about
the
how the
experience, the
flow,
user.
hierarchy and everything, yes, the experience will go. Now,
Okay.
how this UI, where the image will come, where they follow me, profile,
Okay.
friends, inbox, settings, all these things, username, where all these things will come up. You will use a special software to get this done, right? Now,
Okay.
now when you do this, there are other ways. You can actually buy a dummy phone and draw cards
Okay.
to show how your interaction flows. All right, you can put that screen by
Okay.
screen and check how it works. So this illustration shows you all that. Now
Okay.
let me stop the screen for a while. I want to share another screen to explain
Mm.
something. Yeah. I'm going to move XD to another screen. No,
Okay.
I'm going to launch a product I'm designing for somebody. All right. And when it
Okay.
launch, I'm going to share it. So I'm sharing it now. It's loading.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, this is the Adobe XD. It looks like this. So I am launching
Okay.
a project I am doing on Adobe XD. All right. And in this version of XD, I save most of my files on the cloud. So I have it load from the cloud. So it's going to take a while. I don't know. It's going to take a while.
Okay.
It's trying to negotiate for my account. Hmm.
OneDrive or Google Cloud.
On Adobe Cloud, I think Creative Cloud. That's what it is. I
Okay.
don't know if I have an offline version. Let me see if I have an offline version of this. Okay, I have one down. I have another one. It's going to open. It's taking forever. Sorry about that.
No, no problem.
Somebody is trying to connect. Okay, it's finally loaded. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. So this is exactly what I mean. All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Now, when this is a sketch of an application, this looks like the real website, but
Mm-mm-mm.
mind you, is just a dummy. So, uh, in creating these things, this is a shop, an online shop for a client. If you look closely, all the mock-ups, everything were added from this. This is a button to
Yeah.
this to the
Wow.
icon and all these things. Now, it is from my own understanding of where I want everything to be. Then I
Okay.
now started adding it. And bearing in mind that people who use this thing will want to have a mobile app,
Yes.
I first of all thought it wise to put the mobile app first so that
Okay.
they will download it. And take a look.
Mm,
All the fonts I use are closely together to the font they use. This is a
mm,
Google font. So when
okay.
you're designing, you have to be specific. I look very, very closely. These icons and this icon, they are sized.
Mm, mm,
Okay. Now, in user experience, you really need to learn how to put things together very well. Look at this. This is a
mm,
menu. I
mm,
designed this in Photoshop and got it here and put it. And this is a category. I put that here,
mm,
put this here, put this and all this and all this. Now, this is what you can achieve. Now, remember before, when you want to design a website, you might need
mm.
to meet a graphic designer. But now, all
Yeah.
these things are done here. And remember, this is just Adobe XD.
Mm,
It's a free software. It has a pro version where you can pay for more features. And this is a version 29.3. Okay. And the beauty about this is I can share this with you if you have Adobe XD, and you can continue
mm,
working
mm.
on this same document. If you make a change, I'll see your change. It's just like when you're
Wow.
working on GitHub. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's gone that big. I liked Adobe XD. I was using Sketch until I discovered Adobe XD. Now look at this very well. All these
Mm,
dummy text and all this, the dollar
mm,
and all this. Now notice something that the color I was using to pass message was
mm.
consistent. Notice this color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all
Mm-hmm.
these are
The
things that when
orange color.
we yeah, when you go into advanced class, you will learn how and where to put all these things. Now, I want you to take a note again. This site was the first version I
Okay.
gave, and this was the second version I gave. And they ended up collecting this version because it had more graphics here. And guess
Mm,
what?
mm.
It was just a duplicate of this. I only changed a few things and to hasten things up. The
Yeah.
client, I didn't
Yeah.
even see what to change here.
Mm.
The client just saw this and said, wow, this is the way to go. Okay. Now, there are more
Yeah.
things you can
Because
do with Adobe
so this
XD.
other one has
Yes.
mm,
I want to show you
go
another
on.
screen. Yeah, this is another product I was
Mm,
designing. Okay. Basically, before I start programming a website, I first of all
mm,
put it together like this. It looks like this first. When I send it to the client looks at it and he approves it. When he approves it, then I continue.
mm,
And when I'm designing it, this is where I now know what to do. And this person is into haulage and transport. This is how his front end and back end will look like when the customer is going to sign in. When he clicks on it, now let me show you what. Because this is a basic class, I will only be showing you faster so that. Let me show you what this will look like. When you
I
click this
understand.
play button, all right. Sorry, let me start from the beginning. Sorry, this is when you first come to this website. This is what you will see. When you click login, it brings you to this place. So I have not designed the website,
Okay, you can
but
even simulate the
yes,
login process.
it will simulate how it will work.
The
And
way
when I
someone
click login,
navigates.
it brings me to the
Okay.
back end. And when I click here, it closes this. I click here, it opens it. So from here, you see the few. Most of these things are clickable. When I click
Okay.
setting, it brings me to the setting window. You notice how I'm scrolling up and down. When
Yeah.
I click categories, it brings me to the category window. I have finished this website as we speak of. I've just finished programming it. The packages and
Wow.
all that, the roles, permissions. When I click back, so let me go back. When I click quotes, is it quotes or events? I didn't finish marking all these things. I just did it very fast so that the client will see. Diary, it brings me to the diary. All right. And all that. So when I
Yeah.
click log out, it takes me back to the main screen. Now, let me show you. These things we are done here in the prototyping. When you click on prototyping, all right, it's on prototyping. When you click on prototyping, notice that when I click on anything, it's
Yes.
showing you. Are you seeing this?
Yes,
When I
I
click on
can see that.
prototype, when you click on prototyping, there are arrays. Like if I click on this, it was supposed to take me to this screen, which I have not filled anything yet, which I was still
Okay.
designing before I finally made up my mind that the design has been approved. There's no need. I already have what I want in my head. But any day
Yes.
I feel like I'm breaking up, I come back here. So this will save you 1,000 hours of programming if you really know what you want. And
Okay.
it would save me some time of breaking graphics. Like most of these things, they can actually copy them and translate them. Now let me show you the original software of this one now. I'm going to launch this software, the one that has been programmed. So you see, I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to open the final agreed size. Okay. Now the programmed site by the engineer, who is me as well, looks like this. I don't know why it's taking time here. Maybe I should do that on Chrome. I don't know why it's taking time. Okay. Okay, it loaded. Now, notice this. Notice this. Are you noticing the colors?
Yeah.
But this is the older version. There is a new version. There's a new version. Motor Park, yeah. This is a new, is it? Sorry. This is a new version of it. It's loading. The new version of it is this. It's being redesigned. As I was doing it, I was changing the concepts. I noticed that a lot of things we are not where they are supposed to be. So I started changing them. And when you click on this, it now looks like this. So as the work was going on, I started changing them. And I discovered that you can just sign in from one screen. You don't need so many screens to sign up. So I'm redesigning it and changing the user experience. Because I watched what people were doing, it was very difficult for them to use the other application. Okay. Let me log in and show you. Oh, sorry, I forgotten the password, but I can do that in my Google Chrome. Okay, I'm going to bring the Google Chrome screen there. So let us see. I don't need it to be secured. I need for it to be secured. All right. Okay. Now, when I go to the login screen, I'm going to log in for real. Now, when I log
Mm.
in, because it's a PHP Laravel project, when I
Okay.
log in here, I am going to see a backend. All right. Now,
Mm.
remember that backend I showed you from, see the backend now. This is the
Okay.
backend from the original design. Remember this design?
Yeah. Yes.
Remember,
Yes, I
remember
remember.
this backend? Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
everything
Mm-hmm.
here was retranslated. Remember from here and all these designs were retranslated to this by the developer. So along the
Mm.
line, we check out where this thing did not work very well here, move it down. The hub,
Mm.
all this engineering we have changed, the
Mm-hmm.
listing, more
Yeah.
features we are being added, uh, the money, the last month. So it is the UI UX engineer or programmer who knows where to add all these features. Now notice that the same thing, when you click here, it closes,
Mm.
was, yes, and when you probably put your mouse here, and when you click here, it opens another menu. We are
Mm.
all noticed when the design was going on.
What's going
So
on?
if,
Mm.
yeah, if we did not design a back end like this uh, on Adobe XD, you couldn't have gotten that beautiful uh, experience.
Experience, user
So you,
experience.
yeah, yeah. So these days, a UI UX engineer is paid very well. Okay, to
Mm.
make these decisions. Yes, to make this decision of how these things, the wireframing, the prototyping, and all these things. So within these few minutes, I've covered a lot of things. Now let's look at
Yeah.
what these things are. They are what they call, everything you're seeing here is called assets. Okay,
Mm.
they are all assets. So they are being designed, and you can actually get stocks of all these things. And the beauty of this is that from time to time, when you'll be designing, you get used to how to draw all these things, get the pictures, fix them, arrange them. And look at this. Most of these things are here. I have library of
Okay.
fonts, character groups, and all these things. And guess what? Most of these things are free. You can use them how much as how you like it. And
Mm.
UI UX is one of the cheapest and easiest thing, as long as you follow the protocol and this thing. So it's something that is a course that I know if you want to go and learn it, you are going to online, you're going to spend nothing less than $5,000 to $10,000. But I
Mm.
decided to give it free. I look at it, nobody is coming. Nobody is coming
Oh
to the
wow.
class. But it's a very big course. If you finish this course, I implore you to go and check out how much they pay a UI UX engineer. Okay? No,
Mm.
no, that brings us back to our this thing. I didn't want to diverge so deep, but I just wanted to show you
Mm.
an
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
overview,
Of how what it's all about.
of what this is all about. Uh, I was talking about UI, and sometimes you'll be hearing me saying about UX because
Mm.
you cannot leave UI and UX at the same time. So that is what it really entails. So now, remember, remember I was telling you that you really need to show where all the flaws are. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when you really need to show where all the flaws are, if you put all the things and you check how it looks, before we used to design it in a mock-up and put it in phones, check how it looks.
Mm.
Now, this is what we do. We put it here and we can put our phone. If I connect my phone now and send this, it shows in my phone. I will check exactly how this thing fits on my phone. And the same way,
Seriously.
yes, in the same way, when I'm sharing this or when I'm previewing this, all right, I can
Mm.
actually tell it to show it as my phone, all right.
Yeah.
Now, that's the beauty of it. And I can actually start resizing it to see,
Mm.
although I didn't make this for mobile yet.
For mobile,
And when you,
okay.
yeah, when you start resizing it, something starts resizing. Okay. I think in this
Mm.
one I did it. I did it. Did I? Yeah. I never know. Um, Let me prototype this and see. I think I did it in some point. No, not this one. Not this one. No, not this one. I didn't do it, but it's a project. I don't think I have it. I prototyped how it will look on mobile, and because the more users now are either um, the
Mobile.
desktop and the mobile. Yeah. So now let's take a look again on our documentation. So it's just about the look and feel and front end design. Okay. Now
Yeah.
take away take away everything you experience. When you come to a website, you first want to know where are things. How do you find things? How is it easy
Mm.
for you to search for things? Where is it easy for you to log in? Well, now those are called the look and feel, or what you call the findability. So
Okay.
the findability really needs to organize things. Now, I was trying to tell you that look at, and this is a mobile app. Notice that
Mm-hmm.
the picture wasn't showing. So in
Mm.
the mobile app,
Desktop.
probably yes, probably the web engineer or front end engineer will find a way to use jQuery to disable this when it comes up
On mobile.
on mobile. Now, look at this. When somebody is looking at a
Mm.
picture, Victoria's Secret,
Mm.
the first place the person looks at, you see this, they are using this to target where would the person look at.
Yeah.
Place looks at, this red point shows where the person looks more. The person
Yeah.
looks more here, here,
Mm.
and
Mm.
here. So these are the points. And sometimes they might even click it. So
Yeah.
they tend to capture all these things. So if your user's experience is not telling a story, you cannot fine tune. You
Mm.
cannot get a product to sell very, very well. So user experience, you use it to tell all these things because products are all about experience. And what do you use for this thing? There are tools for fine tuning and user testing. The number
Mm.
one of them is analytics. So you use Google
Analytics.
Analytics. Yes,
Okay.
you use Google Analytics. All right. And with Google Analytics, you can know how many people that visit stayed longer in a page, where they were clicking, and how they paid
Mm.
attention. If you have a very bad design or very bad user experience, it is going to affect your search engine optimization or user
Okay.
engagement.
Engagement.
So
Yeah.
a very bad product design will really, really mar how your product is being sold. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, now, uh, that's the same thing I say. Having a website that lacks customers is like having no website. Design and behavior of website are need must if you want of website are need must if you want sell more. SEO
Mm.
a way to bring visitors on website, but they leave it if your website not hold them. So even
Mm.
if you pay all the money to drive customers and they come on your website does not have a good user experience, you cannot hold them.
Yes.
That's what this is trying to tell you. So everything we've been talking about more was of universal
User
experience. So now let's
experience.
look at user UI design. So user interface design or UID is a process of visually defining, guiding the users through a product interface via interactive elements and across all size platform. I've already told you all these things, and I was showing you
Okay.
mock-ups of website and then the real actual website. Now, so you really need to when you have put together, I showed you how when I brought an old version of the website and the finished version of the
And the finished
website.
version.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't need to create so many pages or fragments. You just need to bring everything together and make it look better. So that's why it means. So over the course of time, it is easy to unintentionally create multiple sections and
Okay.
feature which all perform the same function. It is basic entropy. Things start falling apart over time. Duplicate functionality labeled in various ways as it puts a strain on your customers. Often, the more UI fragmentation there is, the higher the learning curve which your customer will have to deal with. See, it's not good to just repeat yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Customer service, contact us, call us now, our phone number, reach out. You see, all these things mean the same thing. Why
They
don't
are
you
the
just you
same
put
thing.
everything on under contact?
Yes.
Instead of putting everything, you really want your customers to read it, but you are suffering them with all this too much information. So that's what that means. Now, distinct, clickable, select style instead of blurring them. All right.
Yes.
Now, things that people are supposed to click, you need to bring them out well with good colors.
Mm.
Uh-huh. These will tell on how people will click, communicate clearly, and then look at how elements are on your screen.
Yeah.
Now, when you are creating form fields, use fewer form fields instead of asking too many.
Too
Too
many
many. Now,
questions.
when you, yeah, it's boring when you come and see a long form to fill. People are lazy. People are getting lazier, and user experience is
Yeah.
getting lazier. When you want someone to sign up to a product, you just collect the person name and email. Is that not all you need?
That is
And
just it.
when a person wants more, you can then ask the person for, please, a
For
few
more
more
information.
details. Let's have
Yeah.
your bank detail and
Mm.
whatever. So when
Mm.
somebody is signing up, you don't just collect. And if you have noticed within course, because of user experiences, people, when you sign up to a product, some may even just ask you your email, and then they will
Mm.
send you a code. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because in user experience, when I ask you your email and I send you a code and you copy that code and put,
Mm.
I will not tell you to set your password. I have already verified that you're a real person, that you have a real
Yeah.
account.
Yes.
So these are
Account.
user experiences, and it changes over course. It's not just that that's the way they want to do it. They're doing it
Mm.
because it is the right way, like I told
Yes.
you earlier. Now, so keep focusing instead of drowning with links. When you put too many links on a page,
Mm.
you will drive somebody away from a site. So when you want them to focus more, tell them everything you want and then go down and put their links. Otherwise, you might end up misleading them to another thing. All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The time is 10:26, and I
Then
think
almost
we
the
have,
30.
yes, I
Yeah.
think we have exhausted like an hour.
An hour
So
plus.
we'll have this class one more time, and we wraps up with our
Mm.
UI basic experiences. It's nice having you, if I wish
Ah,
other people would enjoy
seriously.
what you are enjoying. And I don't know if you're enjoying it or if I was boring you, but
What
hmm,
are you saying?
but
Something that
but
I'm
it's
not seeing. If I,
something.
as we are even
Hmm,
talking, I'm taking a look at the software. I just finished
hmm,
downloading.
okay,
Just
so
downloading
it's
it.
something that you must look at. It goes beyond the software, and it goes beyond understanding why you should design an interface the way you do. All right.
Hmm.
Thank you. I end the class here. I'm going to post it on my website for those who did not
Okay.
attend, for those who
Uh,
really want to understand.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
And
Thank you very, very much.
below here, my website, I'm going to put the address is
Mm-hmm.
http icreations.ga. All right. Feel free to
Okay.
visit. I'll be posting new courses there, and I hope to see you more. So
Sure.
thank you for attending this class. I want to see more of Nigerians and people all over the world learning new stacks. COVID-19 will not stop us, and if
No,
we
no,
stay
yes. It can't.
stay
It can't stop.
indoors and learn a new technology. Somebody said is the amount of information you have that will actually bring you out of poverty and put you
Mm-hmm.
economically afloat. And this is the right time to do that.
That's correct.
All
That's
right?
true.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you very,
All
very
right.
much. My regards
Thank you
to
so
that.
much.
So, all right.
All
Bye.
right. All right, you're welcome.